Hello everybody, this is Crash Zone and I'm getting ready to show you a nice little farm you can do in Pandaria. Now what you want to do is you want to basically fly around and kill the rare spawns, and you better to do this with a miner. And you want to fly around killing all the rare spawns in the area. And while you're killing the rare spawns, you can also mine every node you find. So what you're doing is you're basically killing the rare spawns for a item called Treasures of the Veil, or the green sack that's like, I guess, supplies. The supplies. And each one of those has a chance of giving you crafting. They always give you crafting materials. Now, whether or not you actually get the ones you need, that's another thing, but sometimes they will actually give you a decent amount of crafting materials. There's usually a rare spawn that spawns somewhere around here. That's okay, it's not there, that's fine. One thing you can do to increase your chances of finding a rare spawn is to actually get the NPC scan and get the NPC scan, and it will let you know when you're near a rare spawn. And there's a lot of rare spawns in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms. But as you can see, not only if you did this with a miner, you also get this Ghost Iron. Now, Ghost Iron also sells pretty well in the auction house. Your main target is to basically get Trillium, Ghost Iron, so black and white Trillium and Ghost Iron is what your main goal is to get. And of course, I'm not quite the level I need to be for this, but I'm pretty close to being able to farm it effectively. I'm not just need a few more levels. And as you can see, there's a rare spawn up there. And 2 nodes. If I can find this node, it may be in a building somewhere. Ah, here we go, there it is. And you're basically farming to get all this Ghost Iron and Trillium if you can. That one just, there it is. It kind of disappeared off the map a little bit. And you basically want to farm the Ghost Iron and kill all the rare spawns in your path of finding the Ghost Irons. And you have a chance of getting a Trillium node to spawn every so often. And you want to kill any rare spawns you come across also, and they have a chance. Well, they give you a whole bunch of them give you capes, which will give you more capes for your transmog stuff. And also, some of them will drop toys, which will help towards your getting you the toy mount. And also, if you're level 110 doing this, you don't have that much of a problem with mining this stuff, because they usually stay far enough away from you. They don't usually aggro that quickly. Unless you're like right up on them, they usually aggro. And as you can see, more Ghost Iron, more Ghost Iron, and more Ghost Iron. Ghost Iron is just one of the 3 materials that sells pretty well. And you can sell them in just ore form. And Ghost Iron. Now, if my character was actually at max mining level or whatever not, she would not be getting those nuggets. She would actually be getting full bars, and it'd probably be more than 1 or 2. See, as it is right now, I'm very close to the level needed to get the Ghost Iron, but not there yet. So it's actually giving me 1 piece of ore and it's actually giving me 1 piece of ore and the nuggets of the ore, which is all well and good, but you know, I need that level ups. And this is a really good farm for this. You can also add to your farm if you have a full if you got a full rep, if you got all your rep on the tillers and you got your full farm and you got the ability to plant the snake root, then you also have another way to get this ore along with this. And you could be getting a lot of gold for all this ore. And the reason why this stuff is still valuable is because it's used for the... It's actually... Some of these materials are used for multiple things. It's like you are able to get the panthers from jewel crafting, I think. You can make panthers from jewel crafting with this ore. All this ore. And you can also make the engineering golem with this ore. Now usually a spawn spawns right there in the middle of all these guys, a rare spawn. And then you fly over here, and of course this guy is up. This guy also spawns too. All of them have a chance to drop the sack we're looking for. And I just got one. Okay. What you do is you right click it, and it gives you loot. Now if you notice, I just got a 20 stack of the ore, the ghost iron, and black trillium 2, and white trillium 1. Now white trillium and black trillium are the most rare out of the two, but you can still sell ghost iron for like 16 or 15 gold, at least on my server. You know, that's 16 or 15 gold each. It may not be much, but if you're losing ways to farm, this is an easy farm for people that... Yeah, this is an easy farm. And this is good for getting gold in your hands. You can even do you can actually even do this when you're not that far into leveling. Well, even if you're level 100, even level 95, you could probably do this. Another thing you can do is while you're flying around, you may notice this guy up. Because you fly so closely to this area where he's at, you see him, go ahead and kill him because, you know, he has a chance of dropping a XP gain potion. I did not get it, but that's okay. I got a piece of gear that I can sell vendor to somebody. Or if you're doing this on a plateware, that's a new transmog for you also. And you basically still just fly around collecting nodes. I did an hour of this before, and I ended up with, I believe, 90 some odd ghost iron, 16 gold each. And I also ended up with 10 of each trillium, black and white. And I was able to make a couple, like, I think 5,000 for all of it. Which is not much, but you know, if you add it to a farm, you actually get more. And I usually vendor everything that doesn't make good money. It's like, for instance, these motes of harmony you can also get from the chests. And they can be worth a good amount also. You also get this cheese. I usually just sell these on the I usually just vendor these little Pandaria things. And it's mostly because they don't sell that well on my server. Now, if you sell them pretty well on your server, yeah, by all means, use them and sell them. There's another one. And what do you know? Another cloak. Now, these cloaks are all transmoggable cloaks, and you can get them and put them on your things that you have. And like I said, you can, when you're doing this, you can also add farming your farm, actually. Literally farming. Which is also not that far from where you're at. So you can see there's nodes everywhere. This is actually a trillium vein. And I actually got 3 white trillium. Now, the trillium you also don't have to sell in bar form. It might help to sell in bar form and charge more money on it, but you don't have to. You can just sell them in the ore forms. And so once you've done a pass around and actually killed everything, and looted them and mined all the nodes you can do, you can actually head over to your farm area, collect your stuff from your farm, which I'm going the entirely wrong way to go collect it. Collect all the snake root from your farm, and then head over to the Heartlands, where there's a lot of other Ghost Iron opportunities. The Heartland is actually in the Valley of the Four Winds. It's this big bunch of place over here, all farmland. Now, you can actually most of the time be able to mine the nodes without actually aggroing anything, because there's only one spot in the Heartland, I think it's about right here, where you have vermin all over the place, all around here. But if you go and farm all the way around here and maybe go into this lake area right here, you can actually get Ghost Iron from all these places. Vale of Eternal Blossom, you got all the rare spawns that spawn everywhere in this area. You have a few that spawn here, a few that spawn here, a few that spawn here, and all over the place. You kill those rare spawns, you try to get your Vale, Treasures of the Vale and other things, and you have a chance of getting, I mean, you already saw. Just this little bit of time, I already got 39 Ghost Iron, and I actually did this with another character before I did this, because I was going to do this with my rogue and actually fly around with my rogue and do this, but I realized that I could actually improve on the farm by actually adding a miner there. So when I first did this with the rogue, I actually ended up with a thing that actually gave me 10 black trillium right off the bat. Add that to this and these, you probably have a good amount. Have enough to make a couple thousand on the auction house. Because if I'm not mistaken, black trillium I think goes for about 100 gold each, the ore that is, and the white trillium I think goes for 60. It could be reversed, but you know, they still sell pretty well. And people are buying them because they want to get their war golems out there and sell their war golems. You know, the engineering golem. And I believe jewel crafters also need the Golden Lotus. You can sell the Golden Lotus. It's a little bit harder to sell Golden Lotus though, but you can still sell Golden Lotus. And you also tend to get a lot of the Motes of Harmony by doing this also. And if you get enough, you can also turn in your Motes of Harmony to your mote vendor. And when you turn them into that, you also have a chance, you can get the Ghost Iron and Trillium also with that. That depends on how well Motes of Harmony and Spirit of Harmony sell on your auction house. On my auction house, they sell pretty well, and I could probably get away with just selling them in the auction house. But you may live on a server where that does not work. And here's another one. Treasures of the Vale. Open it. At that time, I got exotic leather and magnificent hide. Now, another thing to know is if with this exotic leather and magnificent hide, you can actually do something else with that too. If you have a leather worker, you can also make a certain item with the exotic leather and actually vendor the item, which is nice too. And you can also, with the magnificent, basically you want to make stuff that you can make with this stuff, the cheapest material using stuff. Like for instance, there's a pattern for exotic leather that only uses, I believe, 10 of the exotic leather. And since exotic leather is it's kind of easy to get now, it uses only 10. And you can actually make them with the stuff you have and just vendor it. And I believe you get like 6 gold per vendored item. And you have a chance of it proccing and giving you, I think, 10 or 11 gold instead. And that's pretty much it for the farm. I mean, I'm not doing good right now, but that's partly because I logged in to the wrong character first before this farm. And this can make you some gold. And it works. I've done this a few times, and sometimes you might have to relist the auction because you may not have the people on that wants to buy stuff like this at the time, but I usually only have to relist the auction one more time and I usually sell everything. And that's about it for the farm. Hope you'd enjoyed. Have a nice day. This is Chris Zone. Chris out. Or Crack. This is Crack Zone. Crash out.